Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Drams Delivered. Today we're going to be trying a whiskey we've never tried before on Drams Delivered, and to be honest, it's not one that's the most well known. So Matt, tell us a little bit about Deanston.
Yeah, Deanston is a Highland whiskey located about 8 miles from Stirling. The distillery is on the banks of the River Teith, which is a really important kind of part of the history. So it actually didn't start its life as a distillery. It started in 1785 as a cotton mill, and they used the river to kind of power the cotton mill, and it was a perfect location for that. Now that kind of ran for about 180 years, and sadly it closed down. But in 1966, it was opened as a distillery. Now, when it first opened, the whiskey they were making predominantly went into blends. And it wasn't until, I think, 1974 we seen the very first kind of label of Deanston. Now, at the time it was owned by Invergordon Distillers, but as time has gone on, it has now been purchased by Burn Stewart Distillers, which is now part of Distill. And they purchased Deanston in 1990. So it's had a really interesting history. The location is fascinating. I've never seen a distillery quite like it, and you should definitely go have a look, have a Google search of what it actually looks like. It's a very kind of prominent building on the banks of this kind of amazing river. So before we tell you a little bit more stories about Deanston, I think we should maybe try some of the liquid.
A little dram. So yes, the one that we're going to be trying today, guys, is a 12-year-old Deanston, which I believe is part of their core range.
Part of their core range, yeah. Part of their core range. It's fully matured in ex-bourbon barrels and fully matured at Deanston as well. So a lot of distilleries will move casks from distillery warehouses around the country. A couple of reasons. The main one is actually just to reduce risk. So if there was a fire or an accident, all the stock wouldn't be gone. But it's quite unusual to have, you know, a full range at one distillery. So this is all completely matured at Deanston.
Ready for the pop.
Ready for the pop. Good one.
Good one.
Good one.
There we go. Another interesting point about Deanston that I think probably doesn't get talked about enough is the fact that it is produced using 100% Scottish barley, which is quite rare nowadays, really. So yeah, let's have a wee nose, shall we?
A wee nose and taste. Now, the reason Scottish barley is so rare, as John said, is that the demand for barley across the whiskey industry is so big that they need to outsource from other places, England, mainland Europe. So, as John says, using Scottish barley, fair play to Deanston, that is a really kind of big tick in our box. I think it's little things like that kind of set them apart. So, let's have a wee nose.
Lovely colour, lovely nose, lots of sort of beeswax, honey, vanilla kind of notes.
Lots of kind of hints like cereal as well. There's quite like a delicate...
Quite malty.
Malty note, yeah.
Have a wee nose. Lovely texture as well.
Yeah.
So this is bottled at 46.3%, which is a strength some of you might recognise. Really nice strength and a lovely kind of body to it.
Yeah. Gives it a really nice mouthfeel, and one of the characteristics of Deanston that they're trying to achieve, and I think they have, is a sort of waxy quality to the whiskey. Now, we talk about flavours a lot in whiskey and the finish, but mouthfeel is just a really important part of enjoying your whiskey. And when we say waxy, what we kind of mean is it kind of makes you kind of salivate a little bit, and you kind of go, and it kind of clings to your palate. So it sounds a bit weird.
Mouth coating.
Mouth coating, yeah. But it's something to kind of note with Deanston that we definitely pick up on. Other distilleries like Clynelish, they often describe their spirit as kind of waxy as well. But when we were kind of chatting about Deanston, we were looking a little bit at the history, and there's some really kind of fun stories about Deanston. And one was that they were kind of leading the way in the kind of industrial revolution in Scotland. And during the sort of French Revolution, kind of gold and silver were all being kind of used for kind of basically the battles abroad, and there was a shortage of it in the country. And Deanston actually created their own currency. So they used it to pay their employees and pay their suppliers, but I'd never heard of anything like that in kind of the history of a building or of a distillery. But yeah, quite a cool thing. Deanston dollars, you were going to call them, John.
Dollars, yeah. Do you reckon we could get away with making malt room
dollars
currency?
Yeah.
Drams delivered dollars.
DDD.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like it. But
have you ever worked with Deanston before, Matt, or had any dealings with them in the past? Or any awards?
I'm trying to think, John. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Didn't you win Whiskey Guru of the Year, sponsored by Deanston in 2022? You did, didn't you?
Thank you, Deanston. An excellent choice, Deanston. Excellent. No, we did. So that was really cool. So yeah, we have been working closely with them. It's a great program where they're sort of selecting they're calling it the Whiskey Guru Award, so people who are just trying to make an impact in the whiskey industry, whether that's promoting whiskey, selling whiskey, taking it to new markets, and kind of like Drams Delivered was actually a big factor in that award. So thanks to you guys supporting the club. They really liked the concept of us opening bottles, sharing them with members, and kind of just chatting about distilleries and learning a little bit about it. So you guys have been part of that journey as well. So it's nice to share a dram of Deanston with you. Another wee story, which I thought was quite cool with Deanston. Yeah. The River Teith is a big part of their kind of operation, and there was originally 4 kind of water wheels that powered the mill, and the 4th wheel was called Hercules. And it was 36 feet and 6 inches in diameter, and it was the biggest water wheel in Europe, which is quite a cool thing. But this has all now been replaced by sort of hydro turbines. But Deanston is completely self-sufficient, and it even goes further than that. So the amount of energy that produces off the River Teith is actually so much in surplus that they sell about 75% of it back to the national grid. So in terms of a business model and kind of looking into the future of how distilling needs to be looked at to be efficient, these guys are doing an amazing job of that. Yeah, fantastic. So not only are you having a lovely dram, but you're also supporting quite a green business. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I've really enjoyed it. Hope you have, John. Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely be trying this one again soon. So let us know what you think, guys, and Slán Siva.